Good morning. My name is Maverick Irwin, or good afternoon, depending on what time you're watching this video. And I just wanted to take a brief moment, hopefully not too much of your day, to tell you a little bit about myself, both personally and professionally. Personally, I'm not a Florida native. I did come from a small town in the middle of northwestern Pennsylvania called Bradford. We are home of the Zippo lighter. I don't know if you ever seen one. If you ever have seen one, but they're very famous in a lot of movies, and on the bottom of every single one it says Bradford, Pennsylvania, USA made. So that's our little claim to fame. My hometown, there's not much to do other than work in the Zippo factory, work in the oil fields, or get out and try to make something of yourself. I took the latter route and came down to Florida with a car that broke down every other day, a box of my clothes, a full tank of gas, and about $120. When I came down, I started interviewing for jobs and found a job at the Boca Raton Resort in the Human Resources Department. Now, that job was an amazing experience. They were looking for somebody who did not have any previous background in human resources, but did have an interest in working with people. So as a recruiter, part of my job was screening potential team members and finding out if they were a good fit for the company culture, and in turn, if they were a good fit for the current position they were applying for. And if not, maybe finding another spot for them within the company as a whole. So that being said, I got to do that for about a year. It was an amazing experience. I met a lot of amazing people, and it led me to finding employment with my previous employer, my most recent employer, Fit Food Fresh. I was with them for about 4 years. And in that time, in my tenure with them, I started off as a customer service associate and worked my way up to the director of Eater Relations. Now, that title is just a very fun title, or tried to be a very fun title for front office director. We tried to be a fun company. Our members, we called them Eaters. So we always were trying to enhance the Eater experience, or the member experience, if you will. And part of my job when I initially came on was helping develop and then implement a retention program to help our members, because they were always trying to, place orders after our deadlines, and that put a heavy strain on our chef and our logistics department. So we created a system that allowed them the ability to have worry-free ordering and meals delivered right to their door. That we still used up until the time that the company kind of downscaled and started doing relief meals during this entire crisis. We call it a crisis or pandemic situation. So right up until I left, I was running the department, and what that was, it was kind of a three-pillar system between our front office, our culinary, and our logistics, and I was a liaison between both departments to help ensure that from order intake to delivery at your door, the process was smooth, whether that be inventory control, minimizing or mitigating the overhead expenses, and just ensuring quality control throughout the whole process, and that each member was handled in a sense and a feeling that they were the most important member, team member, eater on our list. So that being said, I loved it. I still have a very good standing relationship with my former employer. I was just there the other day. Some places that I feel like I excel at is problem solving. I can solve a Rubik's Cube in less than a minute, but work related. I have an ability to relate to people, but then in turn, I have an even more canning ability to look at a situation and kind of dissect different avenues of which kind of outcomes could take place, and then what recourse would need to be taken through each outcome, and so on and so forth. So that's helped in business development. It's helped in creating lasting strategies for retention and acquisition throughout the companies I've worked for, or more specifically, Fit Food Fresh, the most recent company I've worked for. And an area where I feel like I could maybe be better at, or get a little bit of coaching on myself, would be my ability to not take on too much. And what I mean by that very simply is, as a leader, you need to be able to delegate and coach and teach your team members to be self-sufficient, to be problem solving themselves and to be creating, solutions and resolutions to potential issues that come up. So something I sometimes have a tendency to do is if somebody is faltering, instead of coaching them through that, I say, you know what, here, let me handle that. And then, after that, we'll teach you, and then we'll, get back on track, and you can, take that on next time. Instead of coaching them through the situation there and, helping them grow in the moment, I sometimes just say, you know what, let me do it. I got this. I'll take care of it. And I feel like that's an area where I could be a little better at. Besides that, I live in a house in Boynton Beach. I have a fiance and a dog and 2 cats. I live a very simple life. I don't really do much besides exercise. I run, and I like to stay active. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. It's my little home office. I'm here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Kidding, I'm here all the time because we're in lockdown. So that being said, very excited to hopefully meet with you in person, and the opportunity to be a part of an amazing company. Thank you, and I hope you're having a great day.